Welcome back to an episode of Let's Build Twitter on episode 136. As always, if you guys are interested in getting access to that private repository, there's a link in the description down below that walks you through exactly how to do that. If you guys want to hang out while I'm working on this content live, I am live streaming just about every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Central Time, so come hang out. So without further ado, let's talk about what we worked on today. In this episode, we continue working on the emoji dropdown, primarily working on getting the rest of the styling working for the category sections, as well as getting the rest of the categories displayed in the headers so that they stick to the top as you scroll down each category. As always, I'm Ethan Uncoder, and let's hop straight into development. Now, each emoji needs to be bigger, so let's go and grab the emoji. So actually, we'll say font size, and then also, but we want to make the actual emoji div. We'll say height 32px with 32px. Let's just space it out better so it's nicely spaced. So let's try to change the font size. So font size 20px might be a little bit big, but let's just see what it looks like because this is just text. So yeah, that made it slightly big. So 16px. I'm just testing some stuff out here, tweaking it. Okay, it does look like there's like some sort of padding on this of like maybe like 4px or something. Let's try like 8px. Highly doubt it's 12, but you never know. Yeah, now this is too wide. But what if we also say overflow x hidden? So if we come back up here, overflow x hidden, and just get rid of that. And if it overflows with these silly ones, whatever. But we'll try padding 12. So let's say cursor. Cursor. I forget what the auto is. Cursor colon. Actually, it's default. I think cursor default. So I think that should fix that because this was looking a little bit wonky. There we go. And then we also have a hover effect on this. So let's go ahead and copy this and go ahead and paste it. Hover. So this has a border radius on it of like maybe like 2 pixels or something, and then a background color of RGBA, and we'll say 0.2, and it might actually be like 0.1. We'll see how dark this is. So let's see, that's way too dark, so like 0.1. Also, I just realized that it's not centered, so each of these emojis needs a display flex on it. Display flex. Whoops. And this might change a bit. Display flex, justify content, center, and align items in the center. This might change a bunch of stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and change this font size back to 18 now that we have this kind of centered. I think that's a lot better. Now this is still kind of scuffed, so we'll have to fix that up. This is looking better. So let's fix the smileys part. So we'll say I still cannot type. Oh my goodness. Smileys and people. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Let's comment and copy this, save it really quick, and this goes here, I believe. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a margin 0, and we're gonna go ahead and give this a padding of 12px. Padding, actually just a padding on the left of 12px. I don't want it on the other side, so padding left 12px, and that should kind of line it up with this, although it's not lined up, so maybe padding 16 just to give it a little extra oomph here. There, I kind of like that better. And then we can see the font size and everything possibly, so go ahead and say font size is 17px, and then font weight maybe is 600, and that might look good. Cool. So there's that. Seems a little bit small, but I'm gonna trust. I'm actually gonna see if I can bump this up to like 800. That might look too chunky, but we'll see. Actually, I think it looks good. Cool, so we got our smileys and people. Now the thing is this guy actually is like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but like if we do position, it's supposed to be like sticky to the top, basically. And then, so top should be like 0. So it should be sticky to the top 0. Now the only issue, so it does work. Okay, so now the issue is that whenever we also go into another section, it's supposed to be unsticky and then start going up with the top. So that's going to be some logic we're going to have to do. That'll be interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a width on this. So width 100%. And I'm also going to add a background color of white so that it matches. And now it should stick to the top. Maybe we do want some padding on the bottom. Let's go ahead and say padding 16px on this, all around padding. So padding, and then we're gonna change the padding on this guy, wherever the other one was. So padding left 12px, and whoops, padding on the right, which I don't think this even matters unless we say justify space between. And then we'll actually see what it looks like. So if we do this, it looks the same. But now we got some extra space in there. And that might be aggressive on the left and right, on the top and bottom. So realistically, you might want like 16px and then like 10px or something. And let's just see if that's even the right order. It's not, so it should be 10px. I always forget which order this goes in. 10px and 16px. I think that looks decent. Now, keep in mind, again, these are kind of scuffed right now. I'm going to make a better version of this JSON that has only what Twitter uses. But the cool thing is now we can basically copy paste this here, right? We can copy paste this guy. And we can, instead of saying smileys and people, now we can say animals and nature. And I don't know how horrible this is going to be, but animals and nature. And then here, instead of generate smileys and people, we can generate animals in nature and save that. And now if we come back in here, if we scroll down, see, this is the part that it's going to get scuffed probably. Animals. Oh, it just no way that just works. Okay, that was a lot easier than I thought it would. Animals in nature. And whenever we cross over into animals in nature, we need to switch this, which will be interesting, but I think it might not be too bad. So then after animals in nature, we can go ahead and copy and paste this again, right? And then now we can change this one to food and drink. So this is why I wanted to get this set up, because I knew this part would be basically cascade. So now this would be generate food and drink, right? And then we can copy and paste this again. And I know this could be its own components, yada, 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 but it is what it is. I don't know why emoji is broken here. Unless it doesn't return something. I might have to go back and update this to make sure it returns a string array, but that'll be easy. Shoot. So I have food and drink here twice. So what's after food and drink? Activity. So this should be activity. Or I just straight up scuff this. Let's copy this. I just straight up scuff this, I guess. And hopefully this isn't completely broken. So now this will be activity. And then inside here, this will be generate activity. So generate activity or activities. So that one was fine. And then we'll copy this again. So then it'll be travel and places. Yep, that was travel and places. Just double checking that these actually are correct. So now travel and places. And then here will be generate travel and places. Well, and then we'll have our objects. So copy, paste, and then this will be objects. And then this will be generate objects. I have no idea how we're gonna do the other one, which is recent. Maybe we do some sort of cookie or something that just kind of keeps track of the last 5 or something. I don't know what we're gonna do. Next one is symbols. That's why I'm leaving that one for like last, basically. Generate symbols. And then we need to import this. And finally, we have one more, which is flags. So now we'll say flags and then generate flags. And then we need to see what's going on with this one. So it's saying emoji is not a string, I'm sure. So generate food and drink. Let's check this one. So return food and drink. Food and drink is equal to emojis.filter. We need to return emoji.emoji. Generate flags also. Oh, doesn't have an issue. Just forgot to update it. This should be good, I believe. If we take a peek, now we have our smileys and people. And these have extras because we need to filter some of these. Amorous nature, activity, travel and places. Travel and places is a little bit scuffed. I'm pretty sure these belong under objects. So some of these aren't perfect. Again, I just wanted something to get started with. We got emojis in here like we expect, so that's good. So let's maybe work on the hover effect on this guy, and we can maybe do the search or something. I'm not sure. So now whenever we hover over one of the categories, so let's go ahead and say dot we want on this emoji dash drop down dash categories dash inactive. So whenever is that spelled right? I think so. Hover. Let me see. Is there? It is a cursor pointer. So cursor pointer has a background color of like RGBA 0 0 whoops 0.1 or 0.2. Down here I did 0.1, so we'll do 0.1 again. We'll have a border radius of probably the same, like 2px or 4px or something. Down here I did 2px, so maybe we'll try 2px. And the thing is we don't want grayscale. So let's see if that does what we expect. Okay, so there's no hover effect going on. Make sure I spelled this right. I did not spell something right. Let's try again. Okay, so it didn't get rid of the grayscale. But we say filter grayscale 0%. Filter grayscale 0%. Does that override it? Yeah, there we go. Now we need to make the divs bigger. Yeah, we have a width 22, so we want like width to be like 35 and 35, and this probably be better off inside of the actual class, but whatever. We want this to be like 35 by 35. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and get rid of this and this, and then I'm gonna make a new one called category active. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this out. I'm gonna grab this out. I'm gonna grab these out and grab this out. And then this is gonna also have category dash active. And then, or actually I'll call emoji active actually, just so it fits. Emoji active and emoji inactive. Okay, so back in here. So now we'll have emoji active and emoji inactive, like so. And then this will also be emoji inactive. And we're gonna have our, I've already forgot what I called that. It's like dot emoji dash drop down dash categories maybe. Let me double check. Categories, just category. Okay, so here we'll have a width of 35px. Whoops, that's not 35px. Height of 35px. Display of flex. Justify content of center. And align items of center. And then the only issue is maybe we'll have a padding. And maybe we try like 4px padding, and maybe that'll make the background image a little bit smaller. So we need the background. Let's try that. Background size. Whoops. Background size will be 20px. I actually don't think we want display flex. I think we want this, and then background center, background position center. So background position center, and then we want no repeat. Background repeat, no repeat. We might need to make this a little bit bigger. There we go. That looks a lot better. We almost need to wrap this whole thing in another div, although we might just say YOLO and not care about the rounded edge because I'm not that concerned about it. Although it does look even thicker than this, so that's 4. It looks like it's more like 6 or 8 or something, like super thick. So let's try 6 on that one. That might be more like it. And then maybe let's get rid of the padding. I don't know if padding even actually does anything. Does it look like it does anything? No, it doesn't. Honestly, I think we're gonna want to do what I was thinking. So I'm just gonna get rid of that padding and we'll work on that later. I think for the most part, this is fine. I think this is looking good so far. Obviously, it'd be nice if, and we might also just really quickly want a little bit more. Well, this didn't work, so I'm gonna say 4px on this. We also want a little bit more space and stuff around like the categories. So the bottom of the top, which I didn't even do the top yet, which we could do really quick. So grab the drop down top. The drop down top, it'll be here. Has a border bottom 1px solid. It's going to be probably the light gray color. So let's grab the gray color from our app. App.tsx is going to be this. It's probably actually technically, I'm going to try the gray. I don't know which one it actually is. If this matches, it's good. And then we need width 100%. Width 100%. And then height will be fit content. If I could type, it's getting a little bit late here. Yeah, there we go. And that looks about right. Now, the top guy needs a little bit of space. And whenever we click on this, it seems like we're clicking through it, which could be a problem, but it is what it is. So I think that's where we're going to leave it today. This bottom part is going to have some stuff added to it so that it has basically whichever emoji you're looking at, which is going to be interesting. I'm going to have to like figure out like anytime the mouse moves to get the ID of the element it's above, maybe inside of this list here. And then whenever we click on these, we want to be able to navigate to the different sections. So that'll also be interesting. And the biggest thing is I want to get a list of these actual emojis that they have here. That way I have access to the proper ones. But I think I am going to wrap it up there. Unfortunately, that's going to be it for today. If you guys enjoyed, please stick around for the next episode by hitting that subscribe button. You'll know exactly when it comes out, especially with that bell icon. If you did enjoy the content today, please sure to leave a thumbs up. If you did enjoy it, leave a thumbs down. Either way, it helps out with the algorithm all the same. And finally, if you have any suggestions or feedback for me, make sure you leave a comment down below. With that being said, I appreciate you all for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. Peace out, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.